Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Final Whistle post-Iron Bowl edition. I mean, you know how we do it here. Shouts out to Milroe, but we're going to get into that. And just like Milroe's got his all-star panel around him, I got my all-star panel around me. Ladies and gentlemen, you see pumping the crowd up. Prince James, a.k.a. Dan's big brother. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, hey, brother, I am elated. It's game week. I'm in Georgia. I'm hearing all that yap. Bruh, it just feels like 2021.
I like it. I agree. And sorry, everybody. It is SEC Championship week. This is the SEC Championship show for the Final Whistle. I shouted out Chris James. Right below Chris James is Mr. Content Creator, Fan Analyst, Mr. Everything, Coach Smook. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm hyped, bro. I can't stand these Georgia fans right now, bro. And I'm so hyped. I'm probably not as intense because I ain't back home. You know what I'm saying? Back in that territory. But man, it's even harder now. You know, being on this show, I guess it brings you a little bit more attention. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
I heard that. Ladies and gentlemen, next to him, Final Whistle analyst, LuShawn. How are you doing today, sir?
You know what? I woke up feeling good today. I seen a dog truck rolling by the crib, and I feel like that was a sign. I felt like Saban was near. He got something in store for them dogs, and I can't wait to see it.
Me too. And ladies and gentlemen, retired OnlyFans recruiting analyst, lead recruiting analyst, retired OnlyFans star, Final Whistle Dan. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, to use the words of my little brother, elated. Hey, man, we are here. You know what I'm saying? No matter how we got here, we are here. SEC Championship, we got our shot. This is it. This is all we can ask for. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm ready to get to it.
And as you see, all the fans get in the comment section, hit that like, subscribe button. You know we're here, Final Whistle on the Bama standard. And you know we got to shout out our sponsors, Workspace Solutions in the house. They keep us going, rocking and rolling. Hit that like, subscribe. Guys, let's talk about it. The Iron Bowl. Recap. I'm going to give you my 2 cents. After I got finished having church after Bond caught that pass, you know, I was just elated. You know, I think we got to eliminate some things. We kept hurting ourselves. But other than that, something about going to Jordan Hare, that voodoo, that I don't know what they got. I don't know if the stadium's on the Indian burial ground, whatever. But we had to overcome them, the refs. Excuse me, getting choked up thinking about it. We had to overcome everything. So, but yeah. What are y'all thoughts? And I'll go around the horn, starting with Dan.
Man, I mean, it's what you come to expect, you know, now in Jordan Hare. You know, I mean, I was contemplating getting ready to get on the post-game show. I'm like, man, I'm not. He threw the pass. I started loading up my equipment. Like, hey, let's go. But, you know, I try to think of it from an Auburn perspective. You know, how do you allow that to happen?
Auburn.
You know, that's the most Auburn thing.
Auburn.
You know, but
Burn.
It was, you know, I was amazed, man. I mean,
you clinics for their fans.
How do you let a guy get behind you in the back of the end zone is beyond me. But you know what? We'll take it.
Hey, Malcolm Parrish was like, you remember Georgia 2nd and 26? Malcolm Parrish like, pressure off me.
Because he the one who bites the punt, right?
Who
fumbled the punt?
Oh, I can't remember who it was. I couldn't tell you, man.
He didn't get no love after the game.
Oh man,
I bet their fan base know who it was though.
Yeah,
hey, you know it's crazy.
And they know
If you watch the film, you can watch the players that you could tell who the team was subconsciously blaming because they was walking by the teammate. Like people broke down crying. I loved it. I laughed the whole time. Like Lucian was in the game day chat with me, man. The chat went crazy. Our Discord chat went crazy, but then, man, it was like, I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. Like, you couldn't write a better script, man. It was one of those games, man.
It was. Any other thoughts?
Yeah.
Smooth? Chris. Sorry.
I think that the word I was looking for is resilient. You know what I'm saying? It's like those guys refuse to lose, man. You want me to tell you when I knew he was gonna complete the pass? When Milroe was just sitting around, and then when he squared up, I said, "Oh, somebody's open." When he
Somebody
open. I knew
open.
he was throwing it to somebody. I thought it was Burton, but it happened to be Bond. And I was like, Lord, when he caught that, man, I was like, this is like some who's a lucky team that just wins. And we like
Auburn.
Auburn does it. Auburn just like the catch against Georgia they had that year.
Yeah, it was like reverse voodoo or something, man. Like you cannot let that happen. How? Like, how did you let that happen? But the thing about it though, when they robbed Burton of that first down on that third down, and we end up punting, that was just karma coming back around. That was football karma coming back around because they got straight robbed, man. Like the initial they're taught to, if the ruling is made, let it go to replay. Make a ruling, let it go to replay. Because then if it has to be overturned, you know what I'm saying? It has to, you know how they have to have conclusive
You have your evidence.
So, but the back judge came and overruled them.
Overruled it. Yeah.
When the front side judge said it was a catch, who had the better angle.
But
So
y'all let's all agree that it was a horribly officiated game anyway.
On both sides. That's what I was just about to say.
Both sides.
Yeah, both sides. They got some bad calls too.
Yeah.
That officiating crew is the same one who screwed us in that Tennessee game last year.
Yeah, that was a horrible officiating crew.
So, Lucian, Iron Bowl recap.
You know what? I'm confused about all these coaches in the SEC because it seems to be that part of the end zone in any field is pretty much deadly to any team we face. Because I'm pretty sure a couple years ago, Devontae Smith baptized Derek Stingley in a similar fashion in the same corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
And a couple, I mean, it's just like, gosh, guys. But you know what? I hate the orange. I love to see it. I love to see all those girls that they were showing all happy throughout the game and everything. They was just all. At the end of the game,
they done rolled them trees up with all that toilet tissue.
Right.
Praying to the porcelain Jesus.
They were
them trees.
F them trees, baby.
F them trees.
That's not the maze.
Them trees, baby.
Right.
Hey, Matt, right quick, like y'all. But what folks fail to realize is since the Iron Bowl moved from Birmingham to home and home, I think 98 like the first time they played in Jordan Hare? Or something like that.
96,
Dude, it's only been 2 times besides the 0-1 win when we went out there and beat them at 0-1 with Fran. It's been 2 times in all those years, like 25 years, that Bama has beaten Auburn convincingly. That was 2011, the year with we had DeQuan and Dre, the greatest defense ever. We beat them bad. And 2015 with Derrick Henry, when that play, the play that Coker solidified himself as a Bama legend championship quarterback, the one he threw to Darius Stewart. When Derrick Henry broke, we didn't pull away to that game until that play right there late in the third quarter.
Right.
Those are the only 2 times since 98 that we went in there and beat Auburn convincingly. And ever since then, 2003 we lost. 2005 we lost. There was a sack Brody game. Yep. 2007 we lost. 2009 took the Julio Jones drive. 2013 kicked 6. 2011 we won.
Wait, what year Cam drove back?
That was 2010 in Tuscaloosa.
At home,
That was in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
2013 was a kick 6. We played them there on odd years. 2017, Lou, was Jalen Hurts. We went there and lost, but still won it all that year. 2019, when Tua broke his hip and Mac Jones came in and we lost that game. We threw 2 big 6s. 2021 was 4 overtimes and then Saturday. But all people want to say is, well, Bama, you struggle with Auburn, blah, blah. Well, they don't know the history of that. Hey, Georgia even struggled. Georgia struggled. It took a last minute Brock Bowers drive for them to win. So all that stuff they talking, man, and the committee, if they hold that against us, then I just like being ranked the last one lost team because nothing needs to be said, man. Saban should have to say nothing to them boys on Saturday.
Nah, not at all. Leave it on the field.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Smooth,
go ahead.
Round us out.
Iron Bowl recap, man. Like everybody was saying, this is the game. I didn't expect it to go like this. This team has been trending upwards at such a rate. I didn't expect it, but then every time a drive happened, I just kept feeling like that Auburn, Alabama, Iron Bowl field was just so prevalent, man. It's something about, like Chris said, playing at Jordan-Hare. You never get comfortable until the game is decided. And like he said, I can't remember from the first time I was able to watch an Iron Bowl live where we played in Jordan-Hare was 2009, 2007. 2007 was the first one I watched live. And that's the one I was like, man, how do we lose? Like, Coach Saban, I know we just lost to Monroe, but this Auburn, man, how do we? And that game didn't go as planned. So ever since then, it's not like we went down there and just told these guys frame, told them out the frame. I figured if worst case scenario, it would be a win. That's why I told the chat. Worst case scenario, it would be a win, a close win by Alabama. I didn't think we would lose, but the win in that fashion on that type of play after getting the Burton catch call back, after the no call on Isaiah Bonds on the first comeback route in the end zone when Burton was his first read and he slipped. I don't know if y'all watched it, but that DB hugged Bonds all the way through the second phase to the completion of that route. And they didn't call nothing.
DJ Malik.
And then
he did it all night.
Even Malik Benson, though, on the first down when he could have had the first down catch. That dude, they were literally on our receivers' backs, and the second the refs didn't call anything. And I was surprised because even though we didn't get tested that many times, it was so many times I saw the refs in the secondary ready to throw flags when Thorne tried us downfield. And it's one of those things, like you said, resilience, that competitive nature that's being bled through this team and their DNA, that what they've become, that's really what matters. And this team was able to display that this past Saturday.
I agree. At the end of the day, I think we all agree we had to fight through so much adversity. The most intense rivalry in college football, that's what other fans don't understand, like the committee and all these other SEC teams. And they don't know. Iron Bowl and Jordan-Hare brings a different level of voodoo. You might get like a level 2 versus Georgia, but when the Iron Bowl it is like level
DEFCON 10.
You got Gary Danielson hating, you got everybody. So Alabama had to overcome the most hate. We got the win. Shouts out to Milroe, shouts out to the team pulling it out. But guys, before we get in this SEC championship list, not only does the committee not have a clue, but some of these award finalist committees not have a clue.
Ooh.
Case in point. The Jim Thorpe Award finalist is, let me see, I got it somewhere, is a guy from Iowa, Cooper DeJean.
He's tough.
Malachi Starks from Georgia.
Not better than Downs.
Trey Taylor from Air Force.
Huh?
Now, if it's up to me, my Thorpe Award list goes Terry R. Arnold, Caleb Downs, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Malachi Moore.
Homer.
Stark's a bad boy now. He's a bad boy.
I'll give you 2 on that list.
Yeah, I'll give you 2. I'll give you Starks.
I'll give you the first 2.
Starks and DeJean, but Air Force?
Come on.
I can't even say Starks this year, Chris, because he hasn't had the opportunities. Like, you get what I'm saying? A lot of players get snubbed. Like Kool-Aid, he got the opportunities last year, which what got him in the running. This year, he's not getting the opportunities, and it's the same. He's still productive. He's still an elite corner, but elite cover guy. But he's not getting the opportunity. So I think it's more of a hype thing than anything. But when you talk about production on the field, Terry Arnold and Caleb Downs definitely.
And Caleb Downs.
Both of them are definitely in your top 3.
I would even go Will Johnson from Michigan.
Michigan, yeah, that guy. Even the kid out of the Kentucky kid, kid that plays safety at Kentucky.
The Bowman kid, the kid Billy bad boy Bowman from Oklahoma. The boy had like 6 picks and three of them were pick sixes.
Yeah.
He a beast.
That's because they
I'm
throw the
like-
ball 90 times a game in that conference.
But you get the opportunities when you able to make plays like that. 6 picks, and 3 of them pick six, bro.
That's-
You don't
that's thick.
that's a stat that you have to pay attention to. When you talking about best DB,
Yeah.
that goes into it.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
It apparently
Blue
doesn't
Shine?
because that Air Force guy's in the top. Like, who? I mean, do they even play teams that even throw the ball?
Right. That's
Navy,
like-
don't they play the Navy and Army and all that?
Yeah, that's like a triple option. That's
Triple
not
option wishbone.
right.
Wyoming, come on, man.
I'm just confused.
San Diego State, none of them throw the ball.
Yeah, these people, man, I feel like when they're giving awards out, they look at a list and they're not looking at the player's name, they're not looking at the stats, they're looking at the school they came from. And I feel like all the way around, Alabama's getting hated on every level at this point. So the only thing our players can do at this point is go in Saturday and make a statement. Come out and hit them and keep hitting them until that dog don't get up. And show the nation what we all know here, that we're the best team in the country. That's the only way it's going to be done.
Dog,
Yeah.
don't
He's
get up,
acknowledging
baby.
super chat,
And those
guys.
award guys, they just hate the SEC. Like, for example, watch that give the Biletnikoff to Marvin Harrison when Malik Neighbors clearly has outperformed every other receiver in the country this year.
His catches are just
He's been the baddest boy in the country, but they hate the SEC so much that they're going to give it to Marvin Harrison just because he's a top 5 draft pick. And with Malik Neighbors, that boy balled out, man.
He a beast.
You know,
Against
whole
actual
season.
defensive backs.
If you take away the one off of his 100-yard games and take away the one, like 100, like the one, and whatever's left, like 176, he'll still probably have like a ridiculous season, like 177, 189, 152. That's still, you take away the 100 part, the one part, it just had the second and third number as the stat line. That's still sick.
Yeah.
That boy have been balling, man.
Super chat. Yeah.
Shout out to Davis Lewis Love, $5 super chat. Says Auburn safety came towards line of scrimmage, clap, causing McLaughlin to snap the ball before Milroe was ready, and it wasn't called. It wasn't called. On the hindsight of things, I'm glad it happened because when that happened, I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
We're just setting the stage.
It gave us more room.
The game,
Look.
like to him.
Hey, Jalen on one this week, man. Jalen
hey.
said hey, you know what I love about Jalen though? This is kind of off topic, but when he was talking about give me my Heisman, he had his moment. The media accountability. He didn't wait for the media to hype it up and then answer to it. He jumped out in front of it himself. And that just goes to show you the type of mentality this team has. I guarantee you these guys are really fuel. I don't think they pay attention to so much of that outsourced media awards and stuff, but at some point as a competitor, you do want to be known as the best in your position, or if there's an opportunity for you to have an award at your position, you want to be considered for it. You want a real consideration. And you talk about the way this team has been grinding and fighting through different adversity. Caleb Downs and Terry and Arnold not getting their recognition.
They're gonna be pissed off Saturday.
Caden Proctor and I would even say even Booker. If this offensive line doesn't get in the consideration because they've allowed the least amount of sacks in the past 6 weeks than anybody in college football. I mean, that's across the board. And that's teams that run triple option and all this stuff. We've allowed the least amount of sacks. This offensive line is going to come in fired up, ready to show what they're really capable of.
I agree. Speaking of mentality, we talked about Caleb Downs being snubbed and Terry Arnold. I think these players' mentality, previewing the SEC championship, going into the SEC championship, being a 6-point underdog from what I saw, Caesars Sportsbook, coming out that great victory in Jordan-Hare, going against the number 1 team in the country. I think these guys, and having the opportunity to be in the SEC championship since like the past 2 years, and they've been watching Georgia kind of take the throne, and they've kind of been in the hole the past 2 years. this mentality coming into the Georgia game, the SEC title, I think these guys are going to be on another wired, locked-in level that we haven't seen Alabama all this year. So speaking of the SEC championship in ATL at Mercedes-Benz, to me, I think this is the de facto national championship, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about it. How does Bama match up with Georgia? And we'll set it up like this. How does Alabama, let's go defensively, offensively, and special teams. And I'll start it with Chris, and we'll go around the horn, and I'll finish
Okay.
that.
This is what it's gonna take. Defensively, we're gonna have to stop the run. You stop the run, you keep Beck in the pocket, you make him one-dimensional. Okay, Brock Bowers gonna eat. He's gonna get his. You just can't let him just go crazy. I'm excited to see Caleb Downs and those safeties match up with him, and guys like Campbell. They're gonna have some things going. But the thing about it is, we have the luxury to play their receivers, the man up on their receivers. We have that luxury. Like a lot of teams don't. A lot of teams are lucky to have one NFL type corner. We have 3. So to be able to have that luxury while maintaining your numbers in the box to take away the run, that is huge, man. People don't understand that. Like we really could load up against the run and dare them to throw it. Other teams can't do that.
I got a quick question before I give it to y'all, Chris. What do you think how you think we're gonna start that defensive secondary come out there? You think it's gonna be?
It gotta be. I already know what you're going to.
They got to do it.
It's gonna be Downs.
They got to do it.
Or you think it's gonna be Downs and more with Amos at corner, and
that's what it needs to be.
Terrion Arnold at the start.
They need to move Terry on the slot to be on McConkey. You take away McConkey, you take away half their offense. Because Dominique Lovett is nice.
Please pass.
He's nice, but I'm not worried about Ra Thomas and all those other guys. They're good receivers, but you take away that they love going to the tight end. They love the slot receiver.
Slot, yes.
That's why you move Terry on to the slot. He will eliminate all of that.
Yes.
He will eliminate so much if you do that. Like offensively, Georgia they're a great team. They recruited well. I'm not gonna take anything from them, but they have to blitz linebackers to generate pressure. And when you do that, you're in trouble because it's kind of like you have to pick your poison. You blitz Milroe and lose Katane, is over with. Or you blitz Milroe and leave Burton on the island and Bond with those. The number 6 ever isn't that great. Now the other one, the one from what's his name? Lassiter from Tuscaloosa. He's a solid corner. But man, you leave Burton. I love Burton and Bond against any cornerback in the SEC, 1-on-1. So it's like you got to pick your poison. So, but then if you sit back and you give Milroe time, that's when he improvises. And so it's like they gotta pick their poison. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And if we can establish any resemblance of a running game, but like it's just they're not as stout up front as they were. They're solid. They're a great tackling team, but they don't have a Jalen Carter. They don't have a Davis. So we need to take advantage of that. Like we need to be aggressive. Like foot on the gas. All go. Let's go. All gas, no brakes. Special team wise, they keep good kickers. They keep. We just have to win the field position battle. We can't. We were horrible last week. Burnham, Riker, they were horrible. Hopefully, I'm glad they got that. Hopefully, they got that bad game out their system. We punt, we cover, we kick. Don't let them return no kickoffs. Kick everything deep out the back of the end zone. Punt, hang it high, boom it. You're gonna be in the dome, so it should give you some extra hang time. No win factor. Just don't fair catch. And we need to win the punt return battle. We haven't won the punt return battle in a while. Like Caleb Downs needs to, fair catch it, but don't let nothing hit. You cannot lose field position by letting the ball roll extra 20 yards against that Georgia defense. You gotta catch it. You gotta get up underneath it, fair catch it. So that's my take.
Smooth.
Huh? Oh, it's something else left for me to say? Nah, let me stop. But nah, for real. I like me personally, to allude to how we match up. I think our main concerns is on the defensive side because of what they present offensively and how committed to their style of offensive play that they were going to do it. They didn't care how the early production. They Mike Bobo is not necessarily a great offensive coordinator, but the blueprint that Todd Monken set out before him and how to operate with Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey, you got Milton back, who's been, getting progressively healthier every week. Edwards is a solid back. He's more he's faster and a little bit more shiftier than what people give him credit for. And he gives that same type of end of run pop that Roydell brings. So me personally, how you match up against that, you take your chances with your linebackers and your front. Turner, Braswell, Rob, you got Otis. This game, we cannot play this crazy concept of not having Otis and Keenan on the field.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Kevin still can't do that. If you're going to rotate them and run that even front, start the game with both of them in your even front. And then, if you want to rotate to your out front, bring your Boygby and your Smith outside of Otis. Put Otis back in the middle, or bring your Boygby and Smith outside of Keenan. Keep one of them in the middle. You're going to have to use that. Dan, go ahead and take.
Yeah, Otis was hurt. He finished the game with his knee wrapped up. He had a bulky wrap on his knee. So Otis was hurt. So that's why we were stuck with Tim Smith, and we played Latham a lot more than we should have.
Yeah, and that hurt us. We saw how much of an impact Otis and Keenan on the field again. Even the look, man. I feel like just having them out there, they have to be accounted for, kind of like Jordan Davis had to be accounted for a few years ago. You have to account for Keenan or Otis. More so Keenan. I'm not taking anything away from Otis because he's been at the end spot, and we see him growing and becoming a lot more dominant. But if this Georgia offense cannot contain our even front, meaning your 2 down linemen with your 2 outside linebackers walking up, basically being your ends, they can't. And if they can't find success with our inside linebackers out of position to create space for their run game, we're going to have them in a position to where it helps us defensively on the back end. Caleb Downs and is not going to have to be in bracket responsibility. He can man up against Brock Bowers if you're getting pressure with 4. If you're getting pressure with 5, you want Brock Bowers. You want to be on Brock Bowers, and you don't want Brock Bowers having opportunities in extended pass play. You want the ball in his hands quick so you can rally to him and take him down. His biggest thing is, and this is my last point before I pass it on, Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey, it's not that they beat you downfield. It's the yards after catch. It's the schematic placement of how, and I'm going to keep saying this, Todd Monken is the guy that designed and set this thing up. But we do have an opportunity to disrupt that and get them out of character early. And because our offense can create big plays and our offense can do both. It could hit you with a 20-second drive, or we can take a 7-8 minute drive and be effective. So I think if I was to go into it, to elude from all of Chris's points, to go into it, that would be the key for us to have success against Georgia.
Yeah, I like that. Lushawn?
I'm gonna hit this from a different angle, and that's not the name of my OnlyFans tonight. From the offensive side of the football, the way you beat a Georgia Kirby Smart-led defense is to keep them off balance. And Tommy Rees needs to call his best game of the year. We've seen glimpses of plays that could get a lot of stuff done. We might have committed penalties on them plays. We might have, not executed, been lined up wrong. We've also seen some other things that might lead to big plays where we haven't seen a lot of big plays. But I feel like when you're coming up against Kirby Smart, the dude knows defense. In my opinion, he's one of the best defensive minds ever in college football for the schemes he puts together and how he goes about putting together his blitz packages and whatnot. So basically, on the offensive side of the football, we're going to have to be tough. And not just tough. We're going to have to be aggressive. We're going to have to play with a grit that we haven't played with all season. And it's going to be a fight because these Georgia Bulldogs, we can talk all we want. They're not a soft team. They're the number 1 team in the nation for a reason. They're going to hit us. The thing is, we got to hit back. And we got to keep hitting on offense. We can't become lackadaisical. We got to stay disciplined at all phases of the game, all 4 quarters for 60 minutes. Now, on the defensive side, I was watching some film on these little canines running loose and amok in the secondary. And one thing that was really evident to me, the only time that Georgia can really get off is if that quarterback's allowed to move out of that pocket.
Mhm.
Now, he's a little bit slippier than, most people would think he is if you look at him, if you see him throw the ball. But he is very, very elusive. And I think that's going to be the key to stopping this team. If we can contain their quarterback and keep him in the pocket, keep him from coming out, rolling out, and hitting that little whatever that McConkey, McLaughlin, whatever that dude's name is, in the flats, and keep from Brock Bauer sweeping over the middle over our linebackers or our safeties or whatever, Bobo, whatever that other dude's name up there, that their offense they're trying to create to beat us. Kevin Steele has to be aggressive with all of the players. He can't just be waiting. This is it. This is the game. So pull out all the stops because I guarantee you we're going to need it. We're going to need it.
I like it. Smoot, real quick.
You said something about Bauer slipping over the middle. I think this is the first game we see Kevin Steele where he don't give that drop coverage responsibility to those inside linebackers. The way that they were able to play underneath on their 12 completions against us, and Auburn was able to get those 12. A lot of that was because the linebackers were getting beat up so bad in the run game that they weren't. But I think this is the first game where if they got cover assignment, they're not going to try to disguise. I don't think any pre-snap disguise is going to be, in the second level. Everything going to look like it is, and we're going to count on guys to win. I don't know what y'all take is on it, but this is a game you don't play around. You don't try. You don't test different coverages. You go with what's best going to fit and set the tone.
I agree. Speaking of setting the tone, for all the Bama fans going to the ATL for the big game, if you need title towel, go to whitwillsports.com. If you need a title towel, go to whitwillsports.com. Use the promo code STANDARD and receive a discount. Use the promo code STANDARD and receive a discount. Now back to our regular scheduled broadcasting with our lead star analyst, Dan. What are your thoughts about this matchup? Alabama, Georgia, ATL, Mercedes-Benz, Kirby Saban. Tell us about it.
Yes, guys, we might as well be prepared. These two teams are identical. They're mirrored. Alabama is built to beat Georgia. Georgia is built to beat Alabama. They follow the same blueprint. So we're not going to see the little sloppiness that we saw in the Iron Bowl. And one thing I can tell you about Coach Smart, he's not going to beat himself. So we have to execute. We have to be sound. And like you say, with Bowers, I'm going to tell you something I noticed about Georgia. Always watch the backside. They're going to use a lot of misdirection. They're going to use a lot of run routes to free them up. They're going to use a lot of, crossing. They just try to confuse us. But they're going to design plays to get Bowers, into space. So, they're going to hide them in the line, do things like that. So we just got to be sound defensively. That's what scares me is, the combo coverage that we use. So, we can't have any breakdowns like we tend to have. We had a couple of them, this past week. But, we have to watch the mental breakdown in the secondary. But I think we'll be fine. But things like that scare me. They're like Chris was Smoot that said, they're gonna get the ball out of Beck's hand quickly. Whether it's even on the seam route, they're gonna try to hit Bowers over the seam. They're gonna throw the little tunnel screen to McConkey and love it. So we got to watch out. We got to be disciplined, and we definitely more than any game this year is gap integrity. We got to have gap integrity of this game. So it's going to come down to fundamentals. Who's going to determine the winner of this game?
Hey Matt,
Yo,
aren't y'all glad that we saw the wheel route this week?
oh, yeah.
Not even that. We've been seeing the wheel route a lot this season, Chris.
We've been covering it better. But we just didn't cover it last week, I don't know if Malachi was. That's why Dan said that combo.
Malachi, he admitted to getting the wrong call. He thought he was going to have the switch, the safety over top, and the call, because of the type of action that we were getting inside on the run game, safeties were on primary run support responsibility. Sit at 12, support run, and that route did not look like a wheel coming off. If you watch it as a safety, if I'm watching Malachi and that coverage, I'm either expecting him and Kool-Aid to decide who's going to switch because it wasn't that crazy of a route. You get what I'm saying? So I can't blame the safeties on that one, but I guarantee you he's going to learn from it. I guarantee you he's going to learn from it.
And another thing, man, if Amos going to be on that field, man, he better start coming up making not Amos, Key is on that field. He better start coming up fielding and making tackles, man. That long run because he missed the open field tackle. He better come up and make tackles because if not, he's going to be on that sideline early.
Or he's going to be on his back because Milton
run. I'm telling you.
He's going to run
but
through
that's why I was surprised is Devontae Smith hurt again?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
I don't think he's hurt, Chris. I think it's just a matter of the guys missed 9 games. He didn't come into the 10th game of the season. And he's not 100% from what I'm hearing. He's just healthy enough to get back on the field. So to see him get reps against Chattanooga, I think he had like 3 snaps against Auburn this past week. I think he came in for like 3 snaps.
We're gonna need him Saturday.
I think so too. Especially when we go. Dime is probably gonna be our best bet when they go to 11 personnel, bro. And they run 11 personnel with Brock being there. Why
split them out? Especially when they split Brock out, got McConkey. But word is McConkey and Brock are both gimpy.
Yeah, yeah. They had 5 starters out. Last week or whatnot. So they're kind of banged up. So speaking of Georgia, let's talk about their weaknesses and how Alabama can exploit Georgia's weaknesses without giving too much sauce, because we know we got some Georgia Connor Stallions out there that are Final Wilson fans. But so we'll kind of go in the same rotation. Chris, kind of set us up.
Well, like we said, they have to generate. They don't have the greatest air rushers that they once had. They don't have Nolan Smills. They don't have. Their front is solid. They have a solid front. Their front kind of reminds me of our 2013 front, right before we got Outshine them. When we had Pagan and what's the other guy? Stinson and those guys.
Ed Stinson.
Yeah, just solid, big, solid guys, but they're not dynamic pass rushers. They can get pressure if you allow them to, but they don't have any Jalen Carters, type. I mean, those type don't grow on trees, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, but if you can attack the edge, they're weak on the edge than most years. Not to say that they're weak, but if you're going to attack anywhere, it's the edge. Attack them on the edge, and then one of their cornerback spots, number 6. He can be got. Yeah, and then they're susceptible. They're so aggressive. Double moves. They're susceptible to double moves, and because a lot of times we've seen receivers run open a lot this year, but quarterbacks just missed them. Tennessee, there's just a lot of times that quarterbacks just missed them. But Milroe's not gonna miss those throws. So I think double moves, things like that, and when they blitz, man, like we say, they gotta blitz to get pressure. Offensively, I really don't see any weaknesses for them offensively.
They don't.
They're sound, man. I'm not even gonna front. Like they have a heck of an offense, man. You just got a lot, but we're fortunate enough, like Dan said, we're built to match up with them. So just stack that box, man. Do not let Georgia run. Georgia run the ball at will. We're in trouble. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell it like it is.
Yeah.
If we stop that run, man, make Beck have to throw it out the pocket 35, 38 times Saturday. I like our chances, but they cannot get chunk yardage in the run game. 8 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards, like they did the fourth quarter of the championship game back in January 2022. So that's my take.
Smooth.
I'm right there along with you, Chris. I'm gonna go from their offense. The only weakness I do see is when we do send pressure. Nobody's been confident enough to send pressure because you don't have the guys in the back end to match up. So Kevin still can't be shy about sending pressure. You have to go early to figure out how it's going to play out. Send it while they're fresh, while their O linemen are fresh and hype about their assignments, looking for the different things. See how they handle it, even when they're ready for it. Because we are deep enough in the outside linebacker rotation and the defensive front rotation. Hopefully Otis is 100%, closer to 100% than he was this game. But I feel like defensively, we are deep enough to keep sending guys out there to keep a fresh look. No matter how we send it, just send it and see how it plays out. And offensively, their offensives, they build off of their run game. So if you allow them to have success, and success for them is not 6 yards per carry. Success for Georgia in the run game is 3 yards a carry. They will live with that. 3 yards here, 3 yards on the second down, and then they'll open it up on third down. And if they get a first down off of that, you can expect 3 or 4 more passes to follow that up. So as long as we disrupt their run game to put them behind schedule early, first down, we going to find success. And you don't have to do it every drive. You can do it, if we give them 9 drives in the first half. Let's say, for instance, it goes 9-9 as far as the drive count costs. No turnovers, none of that. That's where we'll be able to see that advantage, creating that negative play on the first down. And then the turnover battle. One thing Georgia has not been able to do that they have been able to do in the past is create turnovers. And one thing that Alabama has not done offensively, they haven't turned the ball over very much in the past 6 games.
Yeah.
I think we've got 2 offensive turnovers in the past 6 games. And I think Jalen Milroe is even somebody posted it in the chat or on my Twitter. They said, I bet you'll be surprised to know that Jalen Milroe and Carson Beck have the same amount of interceptions, and they're only separated by 1 passing TD. But guess who has the rushing edge as far as rushing touchdowns and rushing yards? Jalen Milroe, even with his negative 248 yards of negative rushing yards that's been accounted towards him because of the sacks early in the season.
And he has 100 more passing attempts.
Beck has 100 more passing attempts, if I'm not mistaken. People forget that Jalen Milroe had to got set down a whole game. Carson Beck has played every game this season. Jalen Milroe missed a whole game, and he's still QBR rating is the second highest or third highest in the nation now. I don't know who passed him up this past weekend, but it was number 2. And then also, the pass stats, he's over 2,500 yards now.
Yeah. That's on 132 less attempts.
Come on, man. And that's why I'm saying this whole season about Milroe, you don't see progression like this. That's why, off topic again, but not going into it. That's why I feel like GMs are looking at Milroe and like, man, we got a better Lamar Jackson. This is really Lamar Jackson 2.5 right now with his development and how he's been able, man, he's trusting his O-line too much and it's looking good. Like sometimes we're like, Ryan Milroe, and then when he do make the play, we're like, okay, where was that in Texas game? It just took time, but his progression is different, y'all.
Yeah, I agree.
And
What are you gonna say, Chris?
Right, quick, and just think about the 132 attempts. Just think if Milroe had 132 more throws, what his numbers would look like.
Yeah, because he has 1 less touchdown and the same amount of interception. Beck has 23, Milroe has 22. They both have 6 interceptions.
Yeah, he'll probably have a few more interceptions, probably like a 9 or so, maybe. But he'll have way more yards, way more.
Especially the way them boys was cooking in Texas game. The wide receivers were cooking in Texas game. If he could see that, like he's seeing stuff now, Lord have mercy.
I agree. Lucian?
I think the key to beating a monster is using its greatest strength against them. I think we just need to out physical the dog for 4 quarters, and we'll be successful in anything we try to do. If our line, and I mean both lines, offensive and defensive lines, dominate Georgia's fronts, we'll win the game.
I like it.
Flat out.
I like it. Dan?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, they're not going to beat themselves. We got to be disciplined. Our most disciplined game to this point in the season. But what we have to do offensively, we got to stay on schedule. We got to avoid negative plays on first down at all costs. You don't want to get behind the chains early. So we got to pick up positive yards. Jalen, he had to speed up his clock. So he got to go through his progression faster. and definitely, very importantly, take advantage of explosive plays. There's going to be some open shots downfield. You got to see them quickly. You got to get the ball downfield to your receiver that's open downfield.
I agree.
Shout out Chris Owens, y'all.
Chris Owens said this game be won in the trenches. I agree, and I'm looking for our offensive line to prove a point. And I really think our defensive line needs to come strong versus Georgia. I think they had an okay game, but I think them maybe not having the best game versus Auburn. I think they're going to be hungry to really get back to how they were kind of in the middle of the season going against Texas A&M. And I think we can do that and get to Beck. I know Dallas Turner, Brazel, them guys are going to be coming. I think we'll have a good game. So any other things y'all want to talk about? What you going to say, Chris?
And the good thing about it, guys, is McLaughlin, the two most important positions, center and tackle, McLaughlin and Latham have experience.
Yes, finally.
Beating Georgia.
Versus Jaden Carter. No, wait, yeah, Jordan Davis and Jaden Carter.
Yeah, they have experience.
Can I get on that too, Chris?
Jump in.
Listen, the thing was, I don't think people realize how much role play experience we had in that 21 game. Like guys that are seniors and juniors this year, they had role play experience in that SEC championship win over Georgia. Mm-hmm. This game is schematically, we shouldn't have won in 21 schematically. With how Bill O'Brien was calling that offense. Justin, stop, man. He always, but schematically, and I heard Lou talk about Tommy Rees, this being an important game. Schematically, the way Tommy Rees likes to call his offense, this is the game. The way this Georgia defense plays, this is the game where I feel like Tommy Rees looks like the coordinator. You get what I'm saying? But the way he likes to place his the jet sweep with Kendrick Law, oh my God. I can't wait to see when he calls it. I wouldn't be surprised if that jet look, that motion is thrown out early 4 times in the first 5 or 6 plays. I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy Rees uses that. Kendrick Law, he may not get the ball, but his motion, pre-snap motion, is going to be the key to getting that defense out of position, and taking advantage of that is going to be the key.
Hey Lou, I want to hear your thoughts on this. What do you see? What do you see being our biggest advantage?
Our tight ends on offense.
Oh my God.
Realistically, because I mean, CJ Dupree has been slept on all season, and not block, as far as I'm concerned. He's had his moments, but he hasn't knocked down the door, done anything serious yet. So the fact that hasn't happened yet, and we know of their tight ends, Delp or whatever his name is, and then Bowers, obviously, they don't know about our tight ends yet, but they're gonna find out.
I agree.
And plus, we got number 45 Robbie Ouse too. I mean, he's
that
sneaky.
Is my X factor.
Yes, sir. That boy's a monster.
Exactly, especially in the run game, blocking, and he can get out and catch a pass in space too. And he's a player that when those linebackers and safeties try to bring him down, that's a grown man. You gonna feel him.
I'm sorry, I got a Bama basketball game on. I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of Bama guy, let's talk about score predictions, players of the game. Let me know your score predictions, predictions of the game, score predictions, and players of the game. Chris,
I thought long and hard on this, and I see it coming down to a pause. Another barn burner, man. Think about it, y'all. All those great defensive teams we had, the games always got into the 30s, regardless. Pretty much high 20s, 30s. So I'm going to go on a limb and say that Bama finds success. We get a turnover, we get a touchdown somewhere, either a defensive touchdown or special teams touchdown, and Milroe's going to count for 3 to 4 touchdowns. So I'm going to go. You maybe 5. That's stretch. That's tough. He gets 5. Go ahead and put that boy in New York, man.
Yeah.
And go ahead just to put him there. But I'm going to go, man. I'm going to say Bama 31, Georgia 27. We get a stop. We score late, and get a they had a drive for a touchdown, and we get a stop and win the game. 31-27. Offense MVP, that boy Jalen Milroe. He's gonna do it with his legs. He's gonna get it done. Defensive MVP, I'm going with Jahad Campbell. He's gonna be a monster.
Smoot.
I'm right there on the lines of Chris. My thing is this game, because of how we didn't do Auburn last week and the nature of the environment. You know, we go to Atlanta. Everybody talks about how Georgia fans pack that stadium, but they don't have the same impact in Atlanta that they do in Athens. You know, and Atlanta is East Tuscaloosa. I don't care what y'all say.
Brian Denny East.
Brian Denny East. We've been saying it for years, man. Since Saban has been there, it's like Georgia Dome. Like they almost didn't want to tear the Georgia Dome down because of what Alabama, the type of revenue that Alabama brings to the city of Atlanta. You know, so and honestly, that's what propelled them to go ahead and build the Mercedes-Benz Dome. They saw other venues being advanced. They was like, man, we produce all the ratings every year with this one game, so why not? You know, Atlanta was definitely on board, but that don't have nothing to do with the game. When it comes to the game, schematically, I just feel like with Jalen Milroe in a confident place, and Jalen Milroe is very confident right now. He's so comfortable with his offensive line. He's making idiotic plays going across the line of scrimmage and coming back because he has that type of time. You know, you don't see that from a quarterback that's scared or nervous. You know, he's like, oh snap, I got more time. Let me get back. And he's extending plays to the extent I don't think Georgia has seen a quarterback with this type of athletic ability. And I think Kirby Smart knows how important it is to create disruption in this game. And because of that, and the amount of tackles and the way that this Georgia defense has been struggling with, they haven't been the dominant Georgia defensive pass. I think this gives Alabama an opportunity to have a 10-point victory against Georgia. But realistically, how I'm feeling and how these teams are going to come in locked in, this is going to be a 35-31. I think both teams clipped that 30-point margin. Georgia taking the lead, late field goal lead in the third quarter, and it coming down to whoever makes the best of that drive in the fourth quarter. Whoever gets that score in the fourth quarter, and I don't feel like it's going to be a back and forth. It might be a little edge with Georgia, you know, throughout the game, never pulling away. But I feel like this Alabama team is going to be put in the position they've been put in most of their big games of this year, where they're behind and they have to show up. And these guys are going to show up. Jalen Milroe being one. And I said Jalen Milroe is going to count for 5 rushing touchdowns. I mean, not 5 rushing, but 5 total touchdowns, because I see a knee black touchdown early. I see a leaking running back wheel route touchdown. And I'm thinking Jam Miller might be that running back that exposed some of this stuff this weekend. Being that Jace might be out, might not be 100%. I think Jam Miller gives Georgia something they wasn't expecting. So that's 2 of your, and then you're going to have one to Burton or Bonds. You might slip up and get another one on Isaiah Bonds and Burton beating that guy deep, or people keep forgetting Malik Benson woke up last week. The last 2 weeks, Malik Benson has woken up. And if he's stuck at the slot, that means you're putting him up against Georgia's worst corner that plays in the star. He's their worst cover guy. I take my chances with Malik Benson to move the ball and get them in score position. And don't give Milroe any lanes. If you give him lanes, he's going to take off and do what he do. So I got Bama 35, Georgia 31. Close game, tough game, great game. Offensive MVP being Jalen Milroe. They're going to force him to be a quarterback, and I think he steps up to that challenge. Defensive MVP, I can't go anywhere but Tim Keenan. Tim Keenan is going to be the key to that defensive success on every level. He has to be that disruptor in the middle and be active in creating spaces and lanes for those fillers around him to stop that run game with Dejon Edwards and Milton. And even Carson Beck. I think we're going to see Carson Beck used in the run game a lot more than what everybody else has been able to see this season.
Sean?
You know, I feel that Tommy Reese is going to be in his bag, and I'm in full confidence of that. So I got a final score of Alabama 45, Georgia 26.
You right, close mine.
With yeah, that's what I got for the final score.
Oh, boy, you feeling it for real.
No, what it is we got some young Georgia players that once we handle business, they're gonna rattle some stuff off at the end of the game, a la Justice Haynes. So
You
that's
see,
why
Lou, I think I know what you see. You see a Najee Harris /
yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. I literally said the same thing on the other show, y'all. I feel it.
And for my offensive player of the game, I'm gonna reference a game that happened in our past, and it's actually going to be the tight end that gets off this game. Amari Niblack is going to be my offensive player of the game.
Defense. What you said? Defense.
Oh, Dallas Turner.
Hey, I like that. I like that. I love that.
Because I feel like if Dallas controls the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the football, because they do like to run to the outside, and I'm not taking anything away from Braswell because Braswell's going to be hitting people. But Dallas Turner, I'm telling you, it's his time.
Yes.
I agree. Dan, then now round it out.
Yeah. Bama Nation, that day is going to come where we look back and miss out what we've had, what we built and established. You know what I'm saying? We're going to look, man, that was a nice run. And we're going to look back and we're going to say, man, that was a nice run, because nothing lasts forever. Which brings me to this point. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a game going on this weekend in the Dome. And there's going to come a time one day when Bama is not going to be that the king of the hill anymore. But as I started my hoop, it won't be this Saturday because I'm telling you, the Crimson Tide are gonna roll, and I said they're gonna roll. By a score of 27-7. Can you hear me? We're gonna come in there physical. We're gonna give them the fight that they want. We're gonna let them know that we're still on the hill. We're not gonna give it to you. Can you hear me? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah. Hey,
it's gonna be Jalen Milroe. Offensively, defensively, it's gonna be Terrian snubbed from the Jim Thorpe list. Come on, I'm telling you. Woo!
Come on in here, sir.
Hey,
you preaching now, sir.
Am I here in 2011 LSU? You said 27-7.
Yeah,
am I here in 2011 LSU?
I'm telling you, we're gonna impose our will.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the doors of the church are now open. Would you please come? Is there one? Is there
one? We are converting. We are converting, baby, to the Crimson side.
Is there one? Is there one?
Oh, Lord.
Somebody cover Smook up. Somebody get that sheet, cover Smook up. Lucian feeling it. He done caught the Holy Ghost.
The doors of the church are now open. Is there one? Is there one? Please come.
Hallelujah.
All right, Moon Rocker, we see you, baby.
Holly like Holly Berry. Holly. Hallelujah.
God did.
Yes, he did. Won't he do it, Chris?
Won't he do it? Speaking of won't he do it, I'm going to give you my game, my predictions.
Oh, boy, y'all so stupid, man.
Listen. I got Bama. Bama, when they get in Atlanta, Bama's, like I said at the beginning of the show, remember that scene from The Dark Knight when Bane beat up Batman up under the walls and beating them down? He's like, I was raised in the darkness. I know how to fight. And Batman was trying to do all this stuff. That's the type of mentality I think Bama's going to have. Bama's been in the darkness the past 2. Now they get to finally show it out. So, listen, I got Bama 41, Georgia 28.
Ooh,
My player of the game, Jalen Milroe. He's going to solidify his ticket to New York. Players like Amari Niblack, Debris, the tight ends, the offensive line, all the running backs. Justice Haynes, like you said, Smoot, going to be like another Najee. Defensively, that secondary, I'm just going to put it on the whole secondary. I think Kool-Aid, Terrion, Downs, Malachi Moore, Trey Amos, them guys gonna be so locked in, and they're gonna take the offense when them guys try to try them. So that's gonna be my prediction. So, ladies and gentlemen, the doors of the church are still open. Please come. Please come.
Yes.
We give them the love offering 1-800 final whistle. Please, you can get your holy water towel.
Yes, sir.
Where's Justin, come on. Where you at?
Where you at, Justin?
We need your prediction, dude. We need your prediction. We need your prediction.
We need.
Come on, boss man.
He's still recovering from that last message from Dan.
You here now, Justin? Yeah,
I'm here. Listen, first of all, I'm going to say to all the people who were putting so much hype into Georgia's front seven, I want to remind our guys, don't make the monster more dangerous than it actually is. Because I don't know if you know those guys, but folks can run against them. Did we not just see Peyton Thorne go 92 against them recently? And Auburn had, let's see, what was it? 219 yards against them. That's Auburn, y'all.
Yeah.
And another reason, 2 words, Cody Schrader, the baddest man in the SEC right now, hands down, tore them apart.
By himself, Justin.
5.1 yards per carry, 112 yards. Georgia doesn't do well with people hitting them in the mouth. He's a bully. And that's what's going to take from us is a bully from that whole running back room, starting with Roydell, player of the game, offensively. 1B, I'm going to go with Seth McLaughlin. Why? Because he's still mad with that bitter taste in his mouth in 2021. And that's still deep within inside. Same thing on the other side of Dallas Turner. Still deep within inside. He ain't sleeping at night. He's mad. He's ready to kill.
I love it.
He hasn't forgot. Alabama 31, Georgia 27.
Kool-Aid ain't forgot either.
Kool-Aid either.
Kool-Aid, Malachi
he forgets
Moore.
to cover his mouth. He also forgets to make tackles, but we're not going to talk about that.
Hey, Justin, not only him, but Trez Marshall. I got a clip of a play. I'm gonna share it in the group. Y'all, that play where the running back scored against us with Auburn and Jalen Key. Yeah, we can fault Jalen Key for missing a tackle, but he fielded pretty solid. At that point, Marshall had plenty of space to go and support that. And you see him diving at not even the defenders, not the offensive, the running back's legs. You see him diving at Jalen Key's legs. Like, why are you diving? Nobody's blocking you. You're on. I think it was Tim Keenan in front of or a Boygby was in front. He's pushing on the Boygby's back and finally sees the play coming off to his right. Key is trying to make the tackle. Why you don't just stay on your feet and go wrap up and fall on him? You 230 pounds, 240 pounds, however big he is. You get that stop. That's a 4th and goal, and we put them in a situation where they possibly kick a field goal or they try to go for it, and we possibly stop them. Trez Marshall can't play tomorrow if we're going to dominate and find success, unless he just turns it on the switch because it's Georgia. But other than that, I don't have no faith in Trez Marshall out there. Give me Campbell. Give me Blackshire.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be moving forward. I think the coaches have seen enough. I think because even you go back to that UTC game, that drive, that long touchdown run, a lot of it was due to him. 17. Auburn game, they had Lawson back. They let Campbell start, and they rotated 17 in, and it kind of took us out of our funk, and they drove down our throats. So I think if anything, you're gonna see Lawson, Campbell, Blackshire, need a 3-man rotation, and we kind of go from there. So speaking of rotation, I'm rotating my OnlyFans this week.
Lord.
Since we're in the Christmas spirit, guys, since we're talking about football and SEC championship, it's Christmas time. We're no longer doing Thanksgiving. My OnlyFans promo code this week, my OnlyFans this week is Deck the Balls. And and my promo code is Jingle Bells. Who's next, guys?
Man, you crazy. Hey, y'all can find me on Facebook at Chris KJC. Got it. Chris K. James Sr. on Instagram at CKJ Senior 32 and on Twitter at Coach Chris James. I'm retired, from the OnlyFans because of HR. So I'll pass it over to Dan.
Why do you always pass it to me? I thought we were going in chronological order.
No, I'll put you on the
He want
spot.
to get the heat off you. He want to get the heat off him and put it on his big brother.
Yeah. I guess I play the big brother role. Of course, y'all can catch me on Facebook, Dan James IV, Twitter at the Final Whistle Dan. And but as far as the OnlyFans, I'm retired because I got only Christ.
Woo! Hallelujah.
I'm keep preaching.
Only Jesus.
You on onlyjesus.com?
That's it.
That's
all
all
I
but
need.
You can find them on Christian Mingle, Matt,
yeah, Christian
Christian
Mingle.
Mingle.
and Holy Roller.
Freaking Deacon.
No, I don't have to hire.
FreakingDeacons.com.
Deacon James.
More like Crooked Pastor 69.
Oh man.
Dang.
His favorite verse on his Christian Mingle is Psalm 69.
Oh man. Well, I guess I'll go there.
Y'all see how they do me.
Look,
Y'all
y'all.
see that? And this is how they do me. This is
So
on
y'all
air.
go-
Imagine off air.
Y'all can find me at Coach Spook on every platform, man. And also, tomorrow, don't forget to tune in to the show. Me and CC will be on. I think Chris Owens will be on again. Justin, I can see you in the back. Not if Chris will be on. Yeah, Chris will be on again. We've been generating some buzz on the Crimson Dynasty. So definitely come through and support. Also, this Friday, we're gonna bring the original crew back. I don't think we're gonna have special guests on this live game preview. This one, I do have a person, user lined up to play. He's a diehard Georgia fan. He won't be on the mic or nothing, but we will, hopefully, if he gets off in time. He's a truck driver. He's a Georgia fan, diehard. I'm telling you, I'm really trying to get this set up, y'all.
Stetson Bennett, he drive trucks.
No, it ain't Stetson. It's it's Keely Ringo. But no, for real. I was able to get in touch with Keely Ringo. He does do gaming. He plays Call of Duty and things of that nature. Able to get out to his people. Hopefully he'll be able to I said he drive trucks because I wasn't supposed to tell who it was. But hopefully if we get that, man, it'll be a vibe. So definitely working on that. But if not, y'all know we'll have it turned up, man. This Georgia team is definitely going to present a opposition. They're the only team I lost to in my actual league, CPU wise. They're the only team that was able to take me to the fourth quarter and win it. So Friday's going to be awesome. But definitely pull up on my OnlyFans this week. You know what I'm saying? It's got some special things going. We ain't holding nothing back this week. You know what I'm saying? Being that we playing the Georgia Bulldogs, I grew up in Phoenix City, Alabama, which is right across the river, right across the water from Columbus, Georgia. I'm only about an hour and a half from Atlanta. I was able to go to a few of the new age freakniks in my day. And because of that, you know what I'm saying, being in the center of Atlanta in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, going to the SEC Championship in 2018, I'm remembering how good it felt to just do them dogs dirty. And so the promo for this week is going to be doggy style. Because that's how we're going to give it to these boys. Doggy. I mean, if y'all ever have y'all ever seen a dog eat mayonnaise? And I'm going to leave it on that.
I heard that. Lucian.
You can find me on Twitter at Rolush21. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram as Lucian Graves. But this weekend, as Matt alluded to, there's still one Dark Knight on this panel who has yet to find the light, and he's going to stay in the darkness for all of eternity.
Bang, Lucian.
Being as if I'm going to go with this weekend. Georgia, they've been undefeated for a long time. So my promo code, you can find me in the ATL getting down on them dogs. Promo code Bustin' Kirby's Cherry.
Oh my God. Wow.
Whoa.
Man, we got pastors listening.
My parents are listening, Lou. My parents are in here, Lou. Lou.
Hey,
We
Dan.
want to show Justin.
Hey, Dan.
Dan, where you go, bro? Come back. We gotta finish the show.
And listen, everybody, we're gonna end it on that.
Hey, shout out Workspace Solutions before we go.
Hey, I got
Definitely shout
one
out
thing.
Workspace Solutions.
Just
Phil Whistle, general manager here. We got some other shows I want y'all to be aware of tomorrow night. Don't forget the legend himself, aka the creator of The Strip, George Teague, is back 8:15 p.m. Central, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Teague's Take. We'll be going strong, recapping the Iron Bowl, previewing the SEC Championship, breaking down some film study. If y'all have not yet checked that out, you need to jump on board with that for sure. And then Saturday, right after the game hits 0-0-0, we're all here covering every bit of the action. So do not forget about the Bama Standard post-game show.
love it.
It look like the poster in the barbershop. Yeah, I want the number one.
You know how they all had them faces.
Hey, man.
The perfect cut that the perfect cut that you never get, bro. You and then don't forget the one. Don't forget the one with the do-rag.
Yeah, for a number 12, it look like a number 26.
I said I wanted that one, not that one.
Hey, look.
Hey, I didn't give you the mirror. Hey, man, I ain't seen that one on the chart.
This is not the same. This is what I asked for.
And ladies and gentlemen, just like getting a good edge up, we out. We end on those famous two words.
Roll Tide,
baby, next week.
Roll Tide.
Woo.